always get those true false. The true false there, like
one of them, it was
I'll have to rip it open because it kind of.
right except for
There's
the
the
day
right
when
stuff, like, something in the
and
sun,
like
something
that,
in
it's supposed to be false.
I'll
send my alarm for
and it's not French, it's just lieutenant, and I got it wrong.
I thought I'll just roll.
Yeah.
Because I was reading a little fast, and so I was like,
I'll
okay,
probably be
lieutenant.
wearing this.
Then there's a bit too showing you more.
Yesterday I almost missed out. To go on the road to get to
No, Jonah and Jonah.
So I got like right.
Hey,
Don't challenge me.
do you know how to cut pineapple?
Do I know how to cut pineapple?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mistakes on the road, wait. He didn't slow down, he like screwed up and started again.
Over the
Straight to the ditch. My friend there got the ditch across his path.
No, I want big,
Tomorrow I
like,
can do
blow
that.
up and we're gonna cut that in the.
Alright, hey. Okay.
Oh, I did that wrong.
Alright. Okay. If the projector fails, it's been failing all morning. I'm just gonna turn it off and throw it out the door. Alright. Let's talk about each problem here. If you got something right and I counted it wrong, that's my bad, I'll fix that. But we're gonna walk through each problem to make sure that you understand, like, what did you miss? What was the correct way to do it? I know that people can do these different ways, and I'll explain that, especially on problem number 1. Okay, so the first step you do, take the 8, plug it in, 8 minus 6, which is 2. You take 2 to the third power, which is 8. 8 times 5 is 40. 40 plus 6 is 46. That's your answer. I had somebody do this. Foiled it all out. Then once they got that foiled, they distributed the 5, and then they added the 6 to the whole number, you know, the digit in the back, and then in the end they plugged in the 8. So got it right, didn't you?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So, but I had somebody attempted that, and I just went, oh my god, that's hard. When I could have done that problem in my head by plugging the 8 first. Okay, if you have the digit, just plug it in right away. Don't do that thing where you foil it all out. Okay, so that's just something I want to warn you of. Don't do this. My god, that probably would take you like a minute or two just to write up some of the first couple foils. Okay. Alright, on problem number 2. It's an intersection. You're trying to find where do these things intersect. There is no intersection. They do not share any numbers. Intersections at Venn diagrams, what do they have similar? They have nothing, so it's an empty set. 2 points. You got to recognize they don't have anything. And number 2, you got to put it in set form. Okay. Number 3. This is a union. You just combine all the numbers. You do not need to write repeating. So if you looked at your paper, I probably just crossed out if you had like multiple 2s written down or multiple 4s. It didn't count against you. That's not correct notation. You just write down all the different numbers you see. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. How I score this? 1, 2, 3. That's how it works. Okay. All right. Moving on. Any questions with that? Okay. Let's move on to the next one. Okay. Number 4. Okay. You have to distribute the 4 through. Okay. So distribute the 4 to this. You get 20y minus 12. Fine. Then you distribute the negative sign. So you get negative 6y, negative 3. I had somebody do this on a couple different problems here. They distribute the negative sign, and then they thought that they had to multiply these two things together. That's not what you do. Okay? When you distribute the negative sign, you are still subtracting. Bless you. Okay? So you're distributing. This is what you should have, and now you can combine terms. This makes 14y. This makes negative 15. Okay. All right. For number 5, distributing the negative sign to this, so you get negative 2y, positive 4. Then the 8 is just out front like this, so that you can combine like terms if you want to. I'm not going to. I'm going to distribute the 5. You don't distribute the 8. The 8's out front. It's 8 plus a negative 1 times this. So now you distribute the negative 5 of each of these to get this. This makes negative 60. Positive 6 makes negative 54. And then the other 10 1. I had a lot of people forget the negative sign with 54. They said positive 54. That's where you get it wrong. So, okay. Number 6. There's a couple different ways to do number 6. What I would do, I did it both ways. You can see you get the same number. negative 3 to the third power is negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 3, which is negative 27, and negative 27 squared is negative 27 times negative 27, which is positive 729. Okay, or you could just multiply these powers together to make 6, and negative 3 times itself 6 times in a row would be 729. Positive. I had a lot of people say it was negative. Positive. I know it's negative in here to the third power, but the square would cancel it. That's what you need to realize. Okay, any questions, comments, concerns on the first page? All right, let's move on. We're going to go on to, not this page, that one. Must have them out of order. All right, number 7, let's zoom in. You have to distribute that 3 across the parentheses. So that is a negative 3 to the third, x to the 12th, y to the 18th. This number is negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 3, which is negative 27. Negative sign is the one thing that I noticed people got wrong. Everyone else got usually the powers right. Next, you multiply it to negative 5 times negative 6, which is positive 30, x to the 11th, y to the 12th. Okay, those were fine. I don't think there was too many people that had problems. That maybe one, where they just speak some negative stuff. Number 9 is the bear. That's the one that a lot of people just got wrong. They just didn't see what to do. You have to distribute the 3 to everything. So this makes it, a 42, this makes 24. Distribute 3 down here, distribute 3 to 17, which makes 51, and then this makes negative 6. This number is huge. Negative 30 to the third. That is a negative 27,000. Okay? This is 1,000. And then the A's are pretty big, so you just subtract 42's from there, and that would make 9 down here. Move the 6 up to make 30. You can't even see it. You can scroll over. But eventually, you would eventually get down to your final number, which is, you can't even see it. It's negative 27b to the 30th over a to the 9th.
So I just simplified it before I even
It
did the 3.
still works. Still works.
I got that right.
Yeah, still works. I normally don't, because sometimes if you simplify, people go wrong. They'll move their letters the wrong direction. So I just always wait for the end of things. It's still the same.
I just simplified the number.
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
the square.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's move on. Number 10. You have to move that decimal to the right, because positive 2 means the number will get bigger. Positive 2. So this number will get bigger. So it's going to be 920. This number means negative power means it'll get smaller. So I'm going to move this number this direction. So that's if I move it over 3 spots, that's what it is. And it's still a negative number. That's what you need to realize. The negative sign just means it up front. You don't really work with it at all. Okay. Any questions, comments, concerns on 10 or 11? Yes.
No, just like, I was wrong.
All right, moving on. That was my bad. So. All right, number 12. You have to multiply these together. So that makes 12x to the third. Then what you do, and I didn't even write it because I did it in my head. This is the same thing. 4 times 3 times an x squared times an x. And the reason why I break it up like that is because I can take the square root of 4 and I can take the square root of x squared. What's the square root of 4? 2. What's the square root of x squared? It's x. And then these two things I didn't move are left in there. That's how you do that. Okay, on the next one, you can kind of see what I did here. I basically got rid of this radical sign and I just made one big radical sign. That's called the quotient rule. You're allowed to do that. Okay? So you have one big radical sign. These divide to make 50 on the top. This x would move up to make 4. And in fact, you wouldn't have anything left on the bottom. So it's just a simple radical. I had a lot of people attempting to multiply by whatever's on the bottom. If you do that, I know it does work, but you got to make sure that you understand how to find radicals and negative roots and all that good stuff, or negative powers. And so if you were to do that, you'd still have a 10x to negative 1 down here, and up here this would be a way bigger number. And it would still work out. Okay? But this, you would have, this would be 25 times 2, and then you can take the square root of x to the 4th. The square root of x to the 4th is x squared. So this would be the square root of 25 is 5, and then the 2 would be left. So that's the answer. You would get the same answer if you multiply the bottom by the root 10x to negative 1. But it would just be more work. I had a lot of people attempting that. It's hard. Divide it first, simplify it first before you start. Okay, all right, moving on. Let's see. the next problem here. Okay. So, on this, you have to simplify the 50. That's 25 times 2. The square root of 25 is 5. So this is what you turn into. The square root of this is 4 times 2. So the square root of 4 is 2. And now you can subtract these because they have the same 2 x's back. So that's 5 minus 2 is 3. Square root of 2 x's. Here, the cube roots. If like you got to in your answer and you notice that I did this on your problem, and I did this, because you forgot the cube root written in there, and you're extremely lucky that I didn't count it down. Extremely lucky. Because you need to keep the cube roots on it the entire time of this problem. Okay, cube roots of this is 8 times 2. You can take the cube root of 8. It would just come outside and become a 2, and you take 2 times 5. That's what makes this number. 54 is 27 times 2, and we know the cube root of 27 is 3, so that would jump out front. So you can see it over here. Okay, then I can subtract these. So this is negative 7 cube root of 2. A lot of people forgot this little cube root, little 3. You have to leave it on there. It's technically not right. Alright, moving on. Number 16. Okay, you have to multiply by the conjugate. The conjugate is 5 minus root 3. So when you do that, you have to distribute the 6 to the top, which is that. Then you have to FOIL the bottom. It's root 25, negative root 15, positive root 15, negative root 9. You can see it there. These I know cancel. This makes 5, that makes minus 3. You can almost see me right it there. And then the top stays the same. So 5 minus 3 is a 2. That's the 5 minus the 3. And then this 2 can divide these out. So you'd actually have a 3 root 5 minus 3 root 3. And you can kind of see it there. If I just scroll over, you can see it. Okay, that's how you do that problem. A lot of people got that bottom number wrong, which I don't know how. I don't know how that's possible. 17 is super easy. The 5 and the radical cancel each other out. And yes, it is negative. It is a real number. It is a real number. You can't do square roots when it's square roots, mind you. You can't do square roots when there's negatives. That's when that's not real. Okay, but on this problem, you have a fifth root. You can do fifth roots of negative numbers. These are just cancel each other out. Because it's actually negative 3 times itself 5 times. Okay, that'd be 81 times 3, which is like 243. Negative 243. You take the fifth root of it, which is actually negative 3. Alright, so that is number 17. 18, you can just divide those things out. Okay, 20 divided by 5 is 4. You take the x's, I get rid of the x to the fourth on the bottom, so I subtract the fourth from half, you get a fourth. This is the type of root you have, this is the power on the inside. So it's x to the 1, and the type of root is the fourth root, and it's only on the x, not the 4. The 4 is out front, it doesn't have the power on it. Okay, at 19, you distribute the 1/3 to everything. You can kind of see what I did here. When I distribute the 1/3 to 9, you're taking 9 divided by 3. When you distribute the 1/3 to the 6, you're taking 6 divided by 3, which is 2. This is a cube root. What's the cube root of 125? 5. Because it's 125 to the first power to the cube root. That's what the 3 on the bottom is. Okay? That's what fractions mean for powers. Okay, 20. And yes, I had somebody do 20 wrong because they did that same silly mistake that I talked about earlier where they distributed the negative sign and then they multiplied it all together. My God, that's hard. That's 16 terms across. Okay, and the worst part was, this is wrong. So, alright. You have to distribute the negative sign, which you can see here. It's negative, positive 9, negative, or positive 8, negative 11. And then you combine. 17 minus 5 is 12. 5, or negative 5, positive 9 makes positive 4. 4x and 8x makes 12. And then the negative 3 and the negative 11 make negative 14. And it is degree 3. A lot of people forgot that. I warned you twice, 2 days in a row. You have degree 3. Okay? Alright, 21. Okay, 21, you have to FOIL that baby out. So 5x times the, or 5x squared times 3x squared is 15x to the 4. This would be a negative 35x squared, negative 12x squared, and then positive 28. These combined make negative 47. I had somebody like, they were giving me 13s. I think you're like adding them or something. I think you were taking like 35 minus 12. And it was negative 35 and negative 12. So you have to combine. Okay, this 22. Do not distribute the 2. This means you have 2 parentheses. That's the correct math. there should be 9 terms across the board. So, it's 5 times all of those, so here they are. The 1 times everything, here they are. And then the 6 times everything, there they are on the back. Then you can combine like terms. There's 25x squares, there's 10x's, there's 60xy's, there's 36y squares, there's 12x, or there's 12y's, and there's just a one sitting there. I had somebody forget the 1. That's the point. Got the 1. Simple number. Okay.
How many points that were?
It was 5. Something like that. Maybe 3. Let me check. 4. 4 points. Had to write this out and then do the work, combine it. Okay, 23. It's the pool, or the deck, minus the pool. So here's the deck, there's the pool. FOIL that out, you get the x squared plus 2x plus 1x plus 2, which makes 3x's. Then you distribute the negative sign to everything. So it's negative x squared, negative 3x, negative 2. Right? And then up here, this is x squared plus 7x plus 12. You have to FOIL for time to last. The x squares cancel. 7x minus 3x is 4x. 12 minus 2 is 10. For some reason, I was not getting this. I was getting a lot of like 14x's and 4's. I don't know how that was possible. I don't know if people were just adding wrong, or getting the negative sign. I had somebody like try to FOIL that thing all out, all 4 of them. Oh my gosh. Not how you do that problem. All right. You'd rather distribute the negative sign. Yep. Okay. On this problem. Okay, there's 2 ways to attempt this problem, and I'll show you my way. This is actually the faster of the 2. Okay, one way. You could draw a line down the middle here and add the 2 bricks together. That's one attempt. You find the volume of this brick, you find the volume of that brick. The dimensions of this brick is that's how tall it is, this is the width, the depth on the back is x. Over here, the volume of this brick, and this is the funny thing, this is a 3. That's an x. And this is 2x minus 1. Now, why I know that's a 3? The whole distance across is x plus 3. That's that distance. You could actually take these items times each other, these items times each other, and add the 2 results together. Okay? Or you find this height. If you can find that height, this how tall this is, you could actually take the dimensions times each other and subtract the brick out, which is what I did. Okay? So it's x times the height of this thing. That would be the volume of that brick that's missing. Then you take this times the x plus 3, and you subtract the brick out. I don't use that. The only time I would ever use this x plus 1 is to find the height. The height of this little piece, because if you look at this thing straight on, this is what it looks like. Or this is the 2x minus 1, and this is the x plus 1. So to figure out the difference in height, you subtract these. 2x minus 1 minus the x plus 1. You subtract them. So it just here's a negative sign. So it's 2x minus 1 minus an x minus a 1. The x's will make 1x. That's 2x minus 1x. And then 1 minus 1 is a negative 2. That's the height. That's this symbol. X minus 2 tall. So that's what you're going to actually see me write down over there. You'll see me use the x minus 2 for that height. So here's the dimensions of the big one. It's the tall height times the x, the depth, times the width, which is x plus 3. That's what you're seeing there. And I'm subtracting the little Jenga piece that was missing, which is x times x, because that's your dimensions, times the x minus 2, which is the height. So FOILing this out, that makes an x squared plus 3x. FOIL this, that's 2x cubed, negative 1x squared, 6x squared, and then a negative 3x. And then back here, that's an x squared times these, which is, if I distribute the negative sign with it, that's a negative x cubed, negative, or positive 2x squared. And then combining like terms, 2x cubed minus 1x, or 1x cubed is 1x cubed, negative 1x squared plus 5x, or 1x squared plus 6x squared is 5x squared, plus 2 more is 7x squared, and then the minus 3x. There's your answer. And a lot of people not get that right. They're like getting weird numbers, crazy things. I think it was because you didn't have the height right. They were trying to use this Any questions? Okay, I'm gonna walk around, I'm gonna collect these. You have a week. I'm gonna give you a week from today if you choose to retake this. You just come in the morning, don't warn me, you can come in after school, and we'll go through the problems you missed, or if you wanna see another example of a problem that you missed, we'll go through those, and then you have every right to retake. But remember, you have to retake the whole test, and it will be different. And if I made a mistake, let me know.
I'm not gonna retake it. What you mean? I got an 83. Well, no, you won't retake it. That's like 100% in my book. Anything above 80 is like 100%.
So you're gonna retake, you just come in, don't do that thing where you have to warn me like 8 days in a row and you keep forgetting. I don't care.
Jackie's always like,
If you come in, you come in.
Bio,
That's how it
like
works.
bio or something. I'm like, okay,
And
well, bio.
who's the
So, math,
Everyone
anything
else
above an 80 is.
Okay, alright, today, the rest of the time, which you have about 10 minutes, 12 minutes, you can work on your assignment at page 65. Make sure on the page 65 you were done yesterday, it's 2 through 8 evens, 1 through 50 odds, 20 through 30 evens, 39 through 45 odds, 57 through 63 odds, and 66 through 74 evens. Make sure you have the evens odds written down correctly. It's due Thursday. We don't have school tomorrow. So you need to make sure that you get your book home, where you take a picture of it and you take your, your phone or picture home so that you can actually work on that. That is due when we get back Thursday. We're gonna start P.6 Thursday. Does that make sense? The rest of them is yours.
You got bored? Can I go to the bathroom? Yeah, it's good in the bathroom. Hey Katie, I have a question. So for graduation today, are we like all just like meeting over and something? Yeah, to go to the club. Yeah, we're running. Okay. I didn't know if we were like in just circles. No, like everyone else. Yeah, well, that's everybody yesterday. Baseball game. Yeah, no, me and Dale. We'll go.
I think that's
What does not want We have a 30-minute run.
I don't want people sitting on it, trucking on it, so it's going down.
Yeah. Right. 30-minute run I can do. The hill was good.
The only reason why is just taking my
Where's that noise? When I passed the ball yesterday. I was ready to wood.
supposedly, like, we were gonna do that full school renovation, this was gonna go. But then they canceled it. So,
It's like the same thing.
I'm sure fine.
Well, this is over here. Yeah. So, where's my book?
Oh, your book replacement?
Yeah.
The one that she's holding on to right there?
This is old.
Yeah, it's a used.
You want?
Who are you playing tonight?
Can I go to the bathroom?
Just make sure you get book cover transferred to it, make sure you rate your number.
Or who do we play tonight?
Alright, I'm gonna go to
Eagle
the
Grove.
bathroom.
Yep, I did that.
I think this one's better.
You got your Spirit Buddy stuff?
Alright.
I'll take that one. Yeah, that's better.
My spirit buddy wasn't there, so she couldn't fill out the sheet, so I'm.
Oh my god.
Just make a card.
A card? Okay.
That's what I do. Is that, like, if you had to, like, look at these things and like, oh, I need to, I just make a card.
I just said food.
Can I have this book now? This is a funny book.
small school where they're like, well, you know, science teacher. I think classes online, you know.
But do
These ones.
The pay scales?
Yeah.
Or all even, it just depends on how many credits you have, what year you are, you know. Education field is not, so too late. A couple of years ago, if you would have asked me, not sexist, but if the pay scales were balanced, no. This is the first year teacher here at Dartmouth was making more money than me.
This is what I've been doing all day. Yeah, it's like.
So that brand new teacher that was here that only started teaching was making
Ice
$3
does
grand.
not stay.
He just started.
all of it?
Sure.
And I've been teaching for 8 years.
What's not the fun? It's not for you. Oh my.
2006.
Don't judge.
Here. Hey, go. We should get like a. You love you.
You got a book now? Yeah, that's so fun.
The only offer that I would ever accept is NASA.
Oh, do you hear back from them?
Why would you?
Or if Apple was like, hey, we need you here as an executive, okay.
You should just apply for that.
Which is like, not gonna happen.
Oh, no, you saw the picture. I was gonna go.
You basically own the company for P5.
I know.
I was gonna invest in this, and then I had to be like, well,
Okay,
first,
man.
I talk about Apple.
You have to what?
I was gonna invest about $5 grand.
Yeah, I know, that's what I was thinking.
You would probably make a
I think it's slang,
You'd make it like way back.
yeah. Especially this week, Apple stock went up, I think, 40% or something.
Why didn't you buy some?
I would have had like $50 grand in my pocket just right there with the stuff.
Look, do you ever have like a sneeze socks? Because I have one stuck in
Kids
my
gets in
nose.
the way.
Wrong number.
Hey, Ward, guess
Kids
what?
in there.
Kid gets in the way.
Kids
Ward,
get
hey,
in
Ward.
the way.
Hey,
Gotta turn
Ward.
on the kid.
Hey, Ward, guess what?
What?
I have my hair silver tomorrow.
Silver?
Doing it.
You're gonna have to-
Pre-judge.
Doing it.
You're dyeing your hair silver.
You're gonna have to-
Yeah, I like your little eggplant color.
It's been like this for
It's
too
like
long.
red.
And then-
No,
It's
usually
purple.
it's usually purple, but
Yeah.
it fades.
Jesus, you were lying.
How long often do you have to do it?
I'm on 6.
To do eggplant? Whenever I feel like it.
But for silver, you have to do it like every 2 weeks.
Nah, I'll be fine. I like the way it looks with the darker it seems over here.
Like how silver? Show me how silver. Yeah, I wanna see pretty.
Yeah, me too.
Is it like
You
that
hold
one
it there, too.
silverish grayish kind of thing?
Silver gray with kind of like a lilac-y tint.
It's funny, it's her rip.
Some people, cause some
These
people
are so long. I don't know how much. Abby, what are you doing tomorrow?
I'm a little
You are?
My sister tells me all the time.
You know, that's probably
No, you're not doing it. She's like, if I do,
blues.
okay, Mom.
You're not like a bright like person.
Hey, Anna, let me see it. Okay.
I honestly don't feel like doing that. That's my time.
I'm gonna make sure you do it.
Oh,
I've
yeah.
been, I was gonna say, does this say research? Okay, yeah. That's like the new thing. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, no, it's too much.
It won't be blonde. It'll be like straight up silver gray.
It's like purple. It's like purple.
Here's the problem. If you do it gray and it doesn't turn out right,
That's
Are you
fine.
getting it
It's
professionally done?
It's my, yeah, it's my,
Go for
Like-
word.
because
Okay, let me see.
then potentially you could look like
oh
a
yeah.
9-year-old lady and like an 18-year-old guy.
But it would just fit my personality, cause I am a 9-year-old lady.
It's
That's
cute
very
though,
true.
Ward.
I am a
But that's
9-year-old lady.
that's your style though.
You're right.
Can I come over and look at your house, you guys? Your one from last year? Oh, yeah.
I'll be alright.
That's your personal choice, and I'm sure your dad is.
Anna, you just have an old soul.
I do.
Yeah, what'd your parents say?
They made me shave.
16-year-old.
They're like,
That
that was
cause I haven't shaved in a long time.
Your armpits needed it, Anna.
It's my choice. I was just experimenting.
How long was it?
Anna, I'm learning way too much about you right
It
now.
was
I'm
the
so
whole
sorry.
summer.
Yeah.
Ew!
Beginning of June.
Didn't you sweat and wasn't it like
That's
smelly?
disgusting.
Like if mine are prickly and I start to sweat.
Like,
Yeah,
you didn't
I
shave your
like
armpits
that.
either? No. Yeah. No.
Doesn't it itch? Like when you look at it or something?
I'm loving that my camera's picking this up right now.
Oh, I'm very open this year. I'm not hiding anything.
And Swanstrom, she like sold out some deodorant. She's like, what's up? Put it on the other day.
Well, I needed it. I
She's like,
forgot.
what do you like put it on?
It was so funny.
Hey, at least you're being like
I'm
active.
true to myself.
At least you wear deodorant.
You're right. Some people in our school
Some
may
people,
not
a
like
lot of people don't. I don't want to split my fingers. I'm sure we have. Oh, I was I didn't write all that. Jen wrote it. I was like,
You miss your long armpit? I miss it so much.
Hannah. No, you can't.
I can't even stand when it gets like prickly.
My parents.
I will. My parents are like, Anna, if it's fairness or you have to just like, okay, that's perfect. I'll just throw it out there.
You're growing it out again? Anna, you used to shave your legs.
Yeah, but I also used to love country music and
basketball.
Every night.
yeah, and wear bootcut jeans. So
Wait, Anna, you used to like basketball?
yeah, I used to be in basketball.
And cross country.
Oh my god, and I used to be cross country. I was so sporty. You should have seen me in my sporty.
I was
days.
so sporty.
It's your senior year, you might as well.
Are you joking me?
Your senior year is time to quit sport. Are you kidding?
No, that's your sophomore year. Word, I forgot how to run.
Oh, we can do this.
Forgot how to run. I would go over basketball if I didn't have to like play offense.
Yeah, you need to go.
What? Oh, yeah.
You need to go after basketball.
What?
I'm the manager. I'm already in seventh grade.
Yeah, I'll be manager.
What?
I'm already promoted manager. I'm like,
What?
You already need more.
Did you know that Herb is trying to get a PJC people to come here?
The who?
It costs a fortune, but.
Hey, he said he was gonna charge $75 for
Better than
the 2
driving to
days.
Chicago.
Hey,
I would only be for 2 days.
If
It'd
I-
be a weekend.
and if I went out for basketball, do you know how much Madison would hate me? Hey, if
if
I go out for basketball, will you give me extra credit?
I would give you no reason to
Oh, we'll give you a high five.
I'm not that good. Why don't we share? I'm good at defense.
Where's my high five? I come to every single game.
You can be at every single game.
I'm at every single game. Woo!
I do like to get fouls.
See?
I feel like a
You go
double
up,
down
high five,
there.
all the
It's
way.
like, I feel like girls maybe. I thought about it. If they want to shave their legs, you can. That doesn't mean I'm good. If you don't want to shave your legs, you don't.
I don't know. Well,
It's a
that's
direct
right.
correlation.
What about,
I used to
you
get
like
one
my
of
arms all the time.
My brother did, yeah. I just did.
Oh.
Yeah, you should definitely go.
I don't know.
Personally, we need all these other girls.
It probably goes up.
And Haley needs to be out every